Join us as we attempt to travel around South Africa on electric power alone. We will take you along the ride as we experience the attractions en route, driving and charging, as we try to prove that road trips can be done in South Africa with EVs today. The Volvo EX30 Twin is the performance version of South Africa's best-selling EV. It has 315 kilowatts, 2 motors and a 69 kilowatt-hour battery, giving it a range of 470 kilometers under ideal conditions. This is the smallest and fastest Volvo they have ever made, and it shows with a 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.6 seconds. That's as fast as an Audi RS3 for almost half the price. Interior is minimal but fairly sufficient, with lots of technology and safety features.
Welcome to another episode of Electric Drive Africa. We're taking this road trip thing a little bit more seriously, and today we are on our way to Knysna for the Simola hill climb to see what electric action is happening there. Today's leg is 840 kilometers-ish. We are driving from Johannesburg to Nieu, Bethesda. So far we have had 2 charging stops, one 20 minutes, one 30 minutes, one in Bethesda and one at Fleur de Mall in Bloemfontein. Car is averaging around 20 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and we are on a 101 kilometer an hour average speed, estimating 178 k's range, and we are 99 kilometers away from our next charging stop, which will be in Colesberg, Astron Energy. Hopefully nice and fast 150 kilowatt charger, and we should only be stopping there for about 20 minutes. For this episode, Volvo was kind enough to let us use South Africa's best selling vehicle, which is the Volvo EX30. Thanks to Volvo for letting us use this for this trip. It has so far made a world of difference. Just like that, we cross into our third province of today, Gauteng, the Free State, and now we are in the Northern Cape for a very short work. 586 kilometers covered. Leaving at 5:30, it is now 1 o'clock. So 6.5 hours until now. We have been driving for 5 hours and 44 minutes. We are currently around 30 kilometers from Colesberg, where we'll be stopping at the Astron Energy there at another 150 kilowatt charger. Hopefully get some good speed and see if we're the only one. One cool thing about today is that there is actually another EX30 traveling along with us. He is about half an hour ahead of me, and we are tag teaming some of the charging stops. Luckily, most of the chargers that are the 150 kilowatt fast chargers that we are stopping at have more than one plug. This is crucial. Love to see more of this. Some of the older units that only have one plug and one AC charger, it's going to become a problem quite soon, I think. We are currently at Colesberg Astron Energy. Charging to 90% so that we have enough to get to our next charge tomorrow morning after our stay over tonight. We are currently at 88%. We've been charging for about 25-30 minutes. That is it. We are done charging. We are currently at 90%. And now we continue our journey. Next up, Nieu Bethesda. So, we have now traveled 770 kilometers today. Average consumption of 21.1 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Average speed right now 101 kilometers an hour. 7 hours 34 minutes driving. And it is still a very beautiful day out there. Freaking epic. 39 kilometers away. Estimating we will arrive at 26%. We are currently on 36% with 120 k's range on the car. So far the range has been yeah, pretty accurate. What the car's been saying. Maybe pessimistic in a good way. So you never get caught off guard, which is awesome. New Bethesda is a quaint little South African Karoo town, well known for the owl house, gravel roads, open waterways. So yeah, no petrol stations and no ATMs there. What do you think? I think New Bethesda should be the first town with a charging station and no petrol station. That would be awesome. Okay, so we are here in New Bethesda, arriving at 25% with 94 k's range left. Good morning. It's currently 5 to 7 in the morning and we are in New Bethesda and ready to carry on our journey. Currently 175 kilometers away from George. Just finished charging in Willowmore. Have a little bit of a slower charger at the moment due to some issues at the site, but currently at 85%. Arrived there with about 50, and yeah, hopefully you're gonna just take it easy into George. Next charging stop would be at Knysna Mall on our way to Plet. I started my day this morning leaving New Bethesda, arriving in Crawfordnet just to top up the car. I plugged it in last night, overnight at the accommodation, and this morning the car was on 60%. So getting to Crawfordnet with 50, topping up to almost full just in case the Zayman's garage charger wasn't working. But luckily that was working. A little bit slower but working. And yeah, so far so good. Now we start to get through some of the pretty passes coming through out of the Karoo and into the Otanika mountain ranges. So coming into the Western Cape now. This is our 5th province in 2 days so far. Alright, so final check-in for day 2 of this mission, and we are now arriving in Knysna. So this is success, I would say. So today was a bit of a shorter one. We've driven 422 kilometers today. It took us 5.5 hours, excluding stops. They were a little bit longer today. Consumption for the day is sitting at 18.3 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, really nice and low, probably because of the pass. We've come down quite a big pass that obviously gave us a lot of regen. And now we are currently 24 minutes away from Knysna. Yeah, and that's going to be a sign out for today, as we see some more fancy cars coming past here. Another one.
Normally, you know, the heads and centers of this world just start
Saturday was great. Qualifying first four sessions of qualifying were on Saturday. That was action-packed, a lot of busyness through the day. On the EV side, there was the MG Cyberster going up the hill, and then the Polo RX1 E rallycross car driven by Johan Christofferson. And that was, incredible to watch. People were pushing it up the hill yesterday for the finals. I think Johan Christofferson came third in overall. Still mega fast with a 39.01 seconds up the hill or something like that. Super fast. The EVs were in the top 5, which is cool to see. But anyone who hasn't been to Simola Hill Climb, highly suggest it. Amazing event, loads of really cool people. And you're able to get right up close to the action, in the pits. Yeah, it's quite awesome actually to witness that.
We deal with the pressure to the next level. And we speak with Christopherson already on track.
Yeah, it's Johan Christofferson already going on track. This is the class final for this category. Wow, look at those tyre marks he left.
Black line.
That is just magnificent to watch. 39.157 from Johan Christofferson.
You joined me back inside the EX30. We are beginning our journey back to Johannesburg. So we've been on the road for about 2 hours this morning. We left Plet at about 6:45, arrived in Jeffreys Bay at about 8:30. I joined a friend for some coffee, and now I'm on my way. Just finished charging at Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. Super nice location. For the route back, I've decided to go via Port Elizabeth. And then we go via a Janssenville DC charger for a short top up. And then we are in Graaff-Reinet and staying in New Bethesda again tonight. In theory, we shouldn't have to stop at the next charger, but just for a little bit of extra. And we do want to arrive in New Bethesda today with at least 50%, so when we do charge overnight, it gets nice and high tonight. Take a while, but that's not really a problem. And that's our plan for today. So today, so far, we have driven 261 kilometers, average of 19.9 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and an average speed of 73. One thing I've noticed on this trip so far, and the last time I drove through this part of the world was 2019, and the amount of wind farms that have been built is pretty significant actually. There's wind farm on wind farm on wind farm being constructed currently. There are blades being transported with trucks all over the place. There are concrete towers going up in various places for new turbines to be put on top. It's very noticeable. It's nice to see. From the Janssenville farm stall. stop there and see if we can get a little bit of charge. We don't need too much. We currently have 88 k's range and we're about 95 kilometers away from Craftnet, which has a nice big 150 kilowatt charger. We will top up to, like I said, around 60% so that we have enough for tomorrow. Stop. We went from 26% to 53%. A little bit slower of a charger, but we are now on our way again. You join me as we are pulling into the Pick and Pay in Craftnet that has our wonderful 150 kilowatt chargers. Hopefully it gives us that power today. The other morning it didn't, purely because we were, well, I arrived with about 50% battery, or I'll need a little bit less than that to actually get good speed. This morning when we plugged in at the stadium, we got the, as advertised, 150 kilowatts from the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium charger, which is wonderful. That really adds a lot of charge really quickly. We ended up charging to 97% before leaving Craftnet now. We have way more than enough electricity. And we should arrive with 77% in Bethesda. That means we only need to make up 23% overnight to be on 100% tomorrow morning and ready to go the maximum distance we can in one go. And we are officially 2 kilometers out of New Bethesda, so that will be the third day of this mission done. Tomorrow is our last stretch. It's quite a long one again, around 840 kilometers from New Bethesda back to Johannesburg.
With a minimum of 17 and a maximum of 27. Pietermaritzburg will be fine with a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 26. This is the first since I've never seen the weather being so uniform across the country. Just fine.
Join me this morning as the sun is now risen. We are on our way back to Joburg. It's currently 10 past 7 in the morning. We are about 30 minutes out of Colesberg, which is going to be our first charging stop for today. 2 further charging stops after this at the Fleur Mall again in Bloemfontein and Ventersburg, Astron Energy again, and then home free. Now we are driving through near Daar. And what's really cool to see is all the wind farms coming up here as well. So our plan this morning is to try ride this wave of fast charging curve of this car. We get from 15%, we add 150 kilowatts, start to slow down at around 30%, probably to 120, then at 50% we're probably down to about 90, in case you ever needed to know that. So we are currently 1 hour and 26 minutes away from Bloemfontein, the Fleur Mall, where we're going to charge up the 150 kilowatt charger, the Rubicon one. The 150 kilowatt charger at Colesberg unfortunately seems to be capped at 200 amps, which is only delivering 80 kilowatts to us in this me and this car. Alright, that was quite a nice quick little stop, 22 minutes. We are at 70% right now. We are about to jump back onto the highway and head to Ventersburg, which will be a bit of a longer stop. Checking with all our stats. So today, trip info, we have done 417 kilometers. Our average consumption is 23 kilowatt hours per 100. Average speed of 102 k's an hour, and we've been driving for 4 hours and 3 minutes. 20-minute charging stop number 2, and about 40 minutes for first charging stop due to that little bit of a slow throttle on that charger. But so far so good, making good time.
I arrived back in Joburg after 5 days of driving and missioning, covering just over 2,800 kilometers, going through 5 provinces, all at a fraction of the cost it would have been in an ICE vehicle. Charging on a trip like this would come in at around 1,500 to 2,000 Rand, depending on where you charge along the way and how efficient you drive. But all in all, a really great experience. Volvo is something that you can really eat up kilometers across the country with, and as we like it, on electric power alone. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more of these videos and news from the EV space from in and around Southern Africa. Let us know where we should go next.